is working.
Right, I need to get onto the Apple website.
You can dance along to the music at the moment.
All right, I'm on.
Like
Whew, that's loud.
That's why I've had to turn it down, otherwise I couldn't hear you at all.
Okay, I've put this on like minute. Yeah, it's super, super quiet. Okay, cool. All right, let me also check that you are live. All right, there we go. Cool. Yes, it's rolling. It's nice. Oh, here we go. The new Formula One advert. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Do you think they'll do some? Maybe they've helped out with some of the Formula One. Yeah, here we go. This is a Formula One advert then, or linked in together.
What are you on about? Are you watching the thing, or are you watching someone else?
It's Formula One.
Oh, there you go. I'm obviously 2 seconds behind you or something.
This is going to be fun if you're 2 seconds behind.
Entertainment at its best.
Oh, Craig is driving. Cool. And is he driving in the center of the circle, the Apple Dome thing? Yes.
Let's make these bigger. There we go. I can see.
Lol.
Oh, of course it's Craig. Does he just get paid to act in this every year, do you reckon?
I think so. I think he really enjoys doing it, though. Do you think they had a hand in the F1 film that's going to come out soon?
I think it was, isn't it going live to Apple TV direct?
Oh,
I feel like they were the ones that produced it, to my knowledge.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
I think it was straight to
Apple TV?
Yeah, straight to Apple TV.
Very interesting.
To my knowledge. So that's probably why they've got all this like stuff.
Good morning.
Looks like
good morning indeed. Oh, Apple original film. Okay, cool. June 27th. Eh? Oh, if you can, I would update the YouTube title to be like WWDC Live.
If I change it in Riverside, do you reckon it'll change over?
Yeah, it should do.
Let's find out.
I don't know why my camera is so blurry, though. It's unfortunate.
No, it doesn't. So I'll just change it on that. There you go, that's changed. Fascinating. Let's see what they'll do next. Have you heard any rumors at all?
I've not seen anything or watched anything in preparation for this moment that we can live talk about it together.
Fascinating. I only know a little bit, but I've cut down.
I'm liking all this like vintage rock music that they've got going here.
Yeah, I think they're a big fan of like Iron Man 1 vibes, just playing that type of music.
I was literally going to say, if he says Apple Intelligence, it's foundational, but it's not that good.
drum rolls. Oh, I'm surprised they've started with that. I thought they'd want to hide it.
See, how much of these AI things have you actually used? I've hardly used anything of it.
I think I pretty much disabled my stuff because I was like, I'm not a fan of it. So I was like, I'm just going to disable it.
Yeah, maybe it's also
I can't do it on my phone. I could just do it on my iPad and laptop at the moment.
Yeah, maybe it's a mixture that, yeah, because we can't do it on our phone, I'm not so interested in it, maybe.
Yeah.
Where's Welsh in the language support, eh? I'm waiting for that. Because ChatGPT actually supports Welsh.
Oh, you can speak to it in Welsh, can't you?
Yeah, yeah. I've not tried speaking and backwards and forwards yet, but...
I didn't tell you about today how I spoke to Grok in the chat thing. I was like, help me out. And it obviously thought I said something in Mandarin or Japan. So then it just started chatting at me for ages. And then I said no in English. It's like, sorry, let me explain it in English. So you want to build a temple? And I'm like, no, I said, can you help me with this? But I obviously mumbled it, and it just like,
oh, so it's done something different, yeah.
Which I just thought was hilarious. So let's see if this chat system works. No. Classic. So it says the chat should send messages to everything. Ooh. But it doesn't. I wonder if that's a paid feature or something.
You're still really quiet for me.
Do I need to speak a bit louder?
Yeah, because I think I'm super loud in comparison to you.
Yeah, that's fine. I love how the boy next door has literally started to play football against our fence right at the same time. Classic.
Oh, actually, I have seen secret screenshots of the design, and I feel like they've added more depth. So rather than this like high kind of like vibrant colors, they've added more like a high and a low to the vibrancy. So there's more gradient to things.
Vision Pro stuff.
I think it's just generally across board. So I saw it in the actual iOS app, in the iPhone, sorry.
Yeah, because I think they're taking it from everything that they've done on Vision Pro, basically.
Mm.
And apparently they're upgrading everything to change the names of everything. But we'll see.
Okay.
So it's going to be iOS 26, and it's going to call all of them 26 rather than having like one of them as 2, one of them is 14, one of them is 5.
That would be far better. Yeah.
But yeah, apparently everyone's kicking off because like, why are they doing 26? But apparently it's like, if you launch something late into the day, apparently it's a very car manufacturing system that you always do the next year. So because it probably won't be launched till what, September time or whatever. Oh no, that's the iPhone stuff. I don't know when this will be launched, probably in a month or two's time. So why your video might be a bit whack is because it could only live stream 720p.
But it's like blurry.
But it's recording at 1080.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wipe your thing.
But it looks fine on the other camera. Yeah. It's also I'm using the app. So notice now what they're showing, like FaceTime app. It's got like a darker green and a lighter green now, whereas before it's just like a mid green, like a crossboard. So they've brought back gradients, more gradients, I think. Oh yeah, you're right. They've brought that like glass glow, haven't they?
Yeah, because that's what I want to do to one thing app soon.
Yeah. Oh, that's clever. I think they've taken like the water bubble type thing, right? If you were hovering over it, how it'd have that glow and glaze you're seeing.
Someone was going to say they might change it to circle icons
Mm.
it. But obviously that was a bit.
Oh yeah, there you go. Liquid glass is a good descriptor. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
This, from a technical perspective, is like challenging to do, but it'll be great to see how people adapt like web technologies and stuff to help it do this.
Mm.
This is so much better than Android just updated their like material design as well. It's still a bit like weird and wacky kind of thing, but this is like really high end. I like
I
it.
should change the title to a senior UX designer import from.
Yeah, designer reviews.
I think this looks good. Very subtle, but works out quite well.
Mm.
Hopefully you'll feel like you've got a bigger screen, which would be quite cool.
Mm. I think that's what you want, really, isn't it? To be less intrusive and takeovers.
Yeah. That's cool.
I think it might be too stimulating sometimes, though, because that, when they were just scrolling across the albums, looked a bit too much in the way that it's reacting.
Mm.
But it is like an animation, so they might have like hyped it up in the animation. The real thing might be like toned down a touch.
Yeah, or just bring in another update.
Mm. I think the dark mode and these tint stuff are just whack. Like, but
I think that when it went smaller, that was quite hard to see.
Because look at that. How you like if you do a monochromatic approach, how do you quickly spot? Because a lot of the time we spot things through colors, right? Even if you were colorblind, you still spot it through the groups of colors. So having this like monochrome approach, what are you going to look like? How do you remember which apps are where, right? So
Yeah. Oh wow. That's like removing all the color.
Liquid glass, interesting. It's a cool name.
Fascinating. I guess they're just pushing all the designs, so one day when we're wearing glasses, it's an easy transition.
Mm. There you go. Version 26, standardized across all. That's like confusing. So we've jumped from 17 now, or 18, have we? Straight to 26.
Well, the difficulty is the Vision Pro, that was only on 2, so let's jump straight to 26. I think in like 2 years' time, once everyone's updated to 26 and 27, it would make a lot more sense. But yeah, I think it's going to be very confusing in the short term.
What is interesting with the designs, they look more like touchable, like tactile. It looks like you can touch them and interact with them a little bit more because they're a bit more popping and 3D and kind of like the box shadows around them. So I think they've tried to make it less flat and more actually like dynamic with depth.
Yeah.
Which I think they've succeeded at
Yeah,
here.
tell by that from the
So it's way more dynamic. There's way more depth to the actual screen. I always like the way that they use cutting out of objects and stuff, you know, with the layering of picture, like this car is ahead of the numbers, or the girls are like behind the numbers or ahead of the numbers. Or I always like the layering that they do with the cutouts.
Yeah. Do you see that camera app though? It literally looks like the old traditional camera app back in the day,
Mm.
like a massive lens. That's more subtle. Boom, 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 boom. It looks cool, but I feel like that would be very hard to read for me.
And also just the battery drain, right? If you're having gyroscope things, like, is it just going to kill the battery that you have all these like dynamic niceties?
Probably, because you can
But yeah,
have that
they've
on even
definitely.
the wallpaper that I've sacked off.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so what? I think what's difficult, great if there's a design update, but what does that matter in functionality? I think we still care more about functionality, and this isn't really the innovation that people care about. The look, it looks nice, cool. For 2 days, 3 days, you'll be interested in it, but then it'll fade into the background.
Yeah,
So true innovation is like more so the features and functions of it, you know?
but that's interesting. Kimmer will have to take note of this part because apparently it'll take over your whole phone even when you're off it. So it'll
Right.
be putting more emphasis, I guess, on the album artwork to some extent being the main
Mm.
point, which is cool. Apparently, they're bringing some AI technology to. Apparently, you've stopped recording for whatever reason. Let's see if I can edit this. See if we can
I
get
can
it.
still hear you. It's because I've run out of space and it's
Run,
crashed
run out of space where?
on my laptop.
Oh, does it not do it onto here?
What I'll do is I'll jump into I'm on the desktop app. So let me see.
Okay.
I'll just jump over to the website.
Oh, that's cool. That's much better. Sweet. So that's a lot more better with the camera app. I think they've made it a lot more clearer for people to check out. Let's see what they do with the photos. Ah, interesting. So you could actually make any of them 3D. That is interesting. I bet that would have killed a couple of websites that were already out there doing that. That's a cool tab bar. Yeah, I think this design will be. Yeah, I think all the Apple fans out there will definitely love it. I think it might be hard from an accessibility point of view. I'd be quite intrigued to see what that looks like. That's better. They're basically trying to remove the buttons to be in the way of interacting with your phone. Interesting.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh,
Sorry.
we're back. I like the designs regarding the camera. That looks a lot more fresh.
I missed all of it, but it looked
You'll have
great.
to go back.
The trouble with these, so now we're seeing the car, right? The car stuff. Look at all the extra borders and stuff that they've added, which I just don't think is necessary. Down the left hand side where the clock is, they've got the extra borders. Like, there's no need for it. I would be like, flatten it a bit more.
Hmm.
So I was with you on the phone, but here it feels a bit, they're trying to cram in too much almost.
Well, I feel like they'll pull something out of the bag. We'll see, because I think Apple have their own designs, but I think they've worked with Aston Martin and other car companies for them to still have their designs. but we'll see if they show that off or not.
Yeah. Because I think the CarPlay stuff has not changed or enhanced in any way over the years.
Well, they've just
Be
promoted
really
saying it
interesting.
will enhance like 2 years ago and not pushed anything till now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're just trying to group everything. But
Oh, here
I
we
guess
go.
if you,
CarPlay Ultra.
oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's this
these
stuff.
integrations with the climate, the radio, the heater, whatever, this is what it's been missing.
Oh, it launched last month. Well, I think this bit is like the step up, but I don't know why they can't take that over. But I guess they want probably variation in between a high paying customer and a lower paying customer. Because I guess the CarPlay would that affect. Do you have CarPlay?
Yeah.
So that the other one will be a mini update for you guys.
Yes.
So how would you update it? Is it you plug it into your phone and then does it off the phone's internet or something? Do you reckon?
Yeah, it might
Or is
be.
it like the headphones that you just have to like close it, open it, and hope that it connects to some internet?
Yeah, I don't actually know what it's going to do.
I think I need to add a bit more color behind me because I realize I'm completely washed out in this shot. I don't know if it's the Osmo Pocket that is making the colors vibrant, and I'm obviously not. So. It's interesting how it's trying to push this voicemail through sort of FaceTime. It's as if it's like a Instagram story vibe, but more personal.
Oh, I think I've fallen behind because I accidentally reloaded. Again, the only thing AI bit that I do notice is when summarizes your messages, but I'm kind of like, sometimes it's fine not to bother because you can't really summarize it in 2 lines anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think a lot of the time when it first shot that out, it like massively failed in some of like I think it was like emails or something that it was just misreading it completely the situation. And like I think getting people into trouble because they're like, oh, summarize this, and it's like 3 emails down. It's like there's some really sad news, and then higher up it's like happy news, and then it ignores the sad. It's like this is really happy news or whatever.
Oh no.
It's like random
Yeah.
stuff like that that I think they had to push a update straight away. I didn't quite hear that. I was too busy chatting.
This is the whole like, so they call you and they say, hey, this is I'm Dan and the reason for my call is this, and then it's like if you tell them that, then it will start ringing the person. I'm like, that's clever.
That's clever. Holding spot. Hold music. Ugh.
Oh, that's triggering that music. I've heard that music before.
Shivers down my spine. That is going to annoy a lot of people that put you on hold because it's basically putting the people on hold because they'll be calling you back basically. But
Okay, maybe hold assistant actually is useful.
yeah, I wonder if it could do like recall assistant. So when you're trying to call GP like 200 times, it's like call this phone 200 times until you see someone.
Yeah. like all of this is so low vibrational. Who cares about backgrounds in your iMessenger? I want like true earth-shattering innovation.
Mm. It feels like it's just like for kids/teenagers to have like cool images
Yeah.
behind their group chats that none of us probably care about. Yeah, I've heard about this. You could create a poll, which definitely has killed off a couple of competition apps.
Hmm. I think this is the one thing that they did poorly on when they had iMessage widgets. It really didn't do much at all, except for like
Yeah.
maybe people would use emojis more. Now this is like, okay, it's functionality. It's far better, just like integrated functionality. Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. That you pay people from your group messenger. That makes sense.
And you
Oh,
can
it's
see
Apple
what people
Cash
are
though, isn't it? So
messaging.
it's their own credit card. But yeah, that was a great idea.
And that's a WhatsApp latest thing that you can see multiple people messaging.
Mm. I'm like, maybe like I'd use iMessage a bit more, maybe because of those, but right, rarely.
But I've heard, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier or I was about to mention it before you cut off. Apparently, they're going to bring some sort of AI technology to battery. So then it can push your battery to work a bit further.
Right.
I think that'll be really interesting because it'll basically sense what your, I guess, workload that you're putting under the device, and then I guess tries to tailor it to maximize the time of usage to some extent.
Right. Yeah.
I think that stuff could be really cool because if it can just extend an extra hour, 2, 3 from nothing, I think that would be really good.
This secondary inbox, like the screening thing, is really helpful because you can't block unknown numbers if people like call you and stuff. You just turn it all off. So it's like it's helpful to have all that like blocking stuff and block secondary inboxes. Makes sense. The gen emojis, hardly use them as well.
Yeah, I only use them every now and then, but not enough. Like if they went away, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, and inviting a friend to a karaoke party, we're going to merge an emoji with a microphone. When are we ever going to do this? I think what they're trying to hit is like teenagers and making it more like fun and interactive, like the Snapchat version of iPhone.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just don't think that's cool. You should help all the 30-year-olds, like and 40-year-olds with like more super interesting tech.
Yeah, but they're probably targeting the kids that are more likely to smash up their phone and want a new and keep with the times because
Yeah,
that's
and
more
push for something
financially
new.
better for them.
Right. While this is happening, I'm also going to open Apple stock price. I think it's probably plummeting. So it didn't actually update your stream. What do you know? It's dropped 1.7%. This is just so not inspiring. So this was by the hype dump on the actual reality. So everybody was like, "Yeah, it's going to be disappointing."
Is it Apple just selling their stocks now?
Yes.
And then they'll buy it afterwards.
Live translation. Now this is more interesting.
Apparently, they might link it up with AirPods. I've heard. So if two people got AirPods, it'll recognize it. Oh wow.
So that's kind of cool. Like cross language comms.
That's fascinating because I've not seen that yet. So that's cool.
Translated live caption on video. That's cool too, because we all want video calls with people that speak different languages. Because we want to pull down the boundaries of like learning a language or whatever. Yeah.
That's interesting.
You know what would have been cool is if you were on the FaceTime call and you were speaking in a different language, it would like translate it in Spanish to them over there with your tonality.
It's one of those things that it's like, that's really cool, but I probably won't use it that much.
Yeah. How often are you getting calls from people speaking different languages?
You might just get scammed more by the scammers just coming in.
So at least that's like a useful. There's like a societal benefit for that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, but again,
if you like grandma speaks a particular language,
benefit because it's like, oh, if you get this, you can talk to more people, isn't it? So it's like, let's reach the kids, let's reach the mass.
Oh, I like that animation into the maps. That was nice. That's clever lyric translation for music tracks and pronunciation. Again, enabling people not to feel left out.
Oh, well, become your own DJ. That's cool. I like how they've gone for really top things, and then the last one is like, and you can pin your stuff right at the top. It's like, I'm pretty sure you could have brought that like 10 years ago.
There was a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah. Come on, let's see what you can do. That's cool. Would you?
So I find this predictive suggestions on time, like how long it's going to take you to get somewhere. It still thinks I'm walking everywhere, even though I'm driving. So it's like, hey, it's going to take you 4 hours to get to that place. I'm like, I'm driving, you idiot. And I don't know how. I did try to correct it to say always suggests times in drive with a car, but it doesn't quite always remember.
Classic.
It's crazy that you can get away with such faff feature updates.
Yeah. Because half of me is like, what I would love for Apple, that just any maps, is like, do a pin with you and your friend, and then be like, I want to catch up with this person for food, find out a good location in between both of us, and like that type of strategic stuff as well, because people are moving further apart from each other.
Absolutely, like a truly intelligent assistant, isn't it?
Yeah.
With like super low touch, low direction. Just like, hey, I want to meet up with Tom. Just like tell me a good time to meet with him. Yeah. I think this is interesting when they're trying to like incorporate driver's license and stuff. Because I'm always like, I'm worried about losing you with your driver's license, aren't you? So
Really?
oh, that's cool. So you can do it domestically. If you're flying it internally, you can use it as your own passport. That's cool.
Live. Okay, that's handy. Yeah. Come on, Apple Pay. Do something useful.
Mm.
Finally. Because I found that app, it only works with the, what is it, the shopping app or whatever. Everything else, it doesn't work. So I'm like, this is pretty useless.
Is that shop? Is it?
Yeah.
It's because it's connected to your inbox, your email. It actually looks through your emails to populate it. Okay, well, it's a bit interesting. I keep on forgetting about Apple's credit card, but it doesn't look like there's any special features as such, you know.
Well, I guess it's because it's not in the UK, is it? So
Oh, isn't it? I thought they did bring it to the UK as well.
I guess not the Apple Pay stuff.
Right.
The like Apple Card, I should say.
Apple credit card, yeah.
Might be a bit noisy as I'm winding my table down.
Funnily enough, I can't hear it. All right, let's check in on the share price. Still down.
Apparently they're pushing gaming again, but I don't know. I feel like they say that every time. I need to get a digital. I feel like they're trying to push this every time and it never works.
Oh, interesting. It now links up with the PS5 controller, though.
You can link up with Xbox as well.
Oh, cool.
They brought that update about a year or two ago. Apparently, I heard recently that they bought out a game studio. But the game studio is literally two people. And it's basically this podcaster saying, Apple, with Apple's money and their influence, out of all the games in the world, why did you go for this one game where there's literally just two people that have launched one good game? And it's like fair dues to those two people that are probably minted now because now they're working for Apple. It's like it's a bit random out of everything that they could do.
I wonder if it's because they had like intellectual property stuff that they wanted.
Well,
to, like,
I think
run
it
with
was
the
like one
concept.
of the most popular gaming apps on the iPhone. So it's not like you're trying to cross sort of get over to PlayStation or Xbox type of gaming, to my knowledge. Oh, T screen, interesting. That's fascinating. I think this will be interesting if you're watching, let's say, YouTube and want to know where the jacket's from or tech is from or whatever.
Yeah, visual shopping, I think, is like a big thing, isn't it? So.
Fascinating. what would be cool is like if the companies know how many people have print screened at a certain YouTube clip or whatever. So then you know if everyone's going to buy the same Mr. Beast jacket or whatever.
Mm. You know what they're missing?
What?
Oh yeah, there you go. I was gonna say they're missing an ability to draw on the image to be like, go and find that thing, and that's what they just showed just now. So that's good. How is it doing that? How has it found that in another app? I wonder if they've worked with those other app people to have like deep links, but it's interesting.
I think the on-screen stuff is definitely an interesting push a lot more and working sort of cross apps.
But notice that you're still having to trigger a screenshot. You're not saying, Apple Intelligence, hey, where's this jacket from? Right? They should have been like merge actual Apple Intelligence into it, not that you have to take screenshots.
But I guess you could probably create a shortcut that if you say this word, it'll trigger this item. Or like, you know, the tapping on the back of the phone, you could probably like tap on the back of the phone and it does it or whatever.
I still can't get over the fact that they just collaborated with ChatGPT and they're saying, I asked ChatGPT, like Apple should own their own thing. I know they've spoken about Intel. Obviously, Apple had Intel for ages until they built their own Apple silicon stuff. But like, it feels crazy that they reference another company. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when they have literal Siri.
Apparently, they've been like chatting with Apple and not Apple, with Google and Gemini and that type of stuff. So some people are like, oh, I wonder if they'll switch over to be like, and we link up with Gemini, which they're like is a bit wild because I think the only link up they've ever done is the search engine pushing it to be Google, but it's only because they don't have a search engine.
I wonder what they do is like build on ChatGPT for all these years, collect all this data, and then come out with their own thing. So we like pull a carpet from underneath them. Exactly what they do for Intel, right? Do Intel for years and years and years, and then they're like, "Hey, we've built our own stuff now." Kind of super disappointing.
They must have so much data.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know if it's encrypted. Maybe they don't.
The coolest thing is obviously the live translation, but you'll never use it unless you go abroad.
I think if these push the Apple Watch as a doctor or a PT, it could be very interesting. But if they don't, I think it'd be pretty meh as an update.
Yeah, I think they're going to go health heavy on this one, aren't they?
They must do.
Okay, fitness. There's no health looking icon there, though. I did really like the redesign of the Watch OS previously. So what they've done, this version of OS before they now updated to this glass, that was a really good update. But I also don't remember now. Do I press the crown? Do I press the action button down at the bottom? Like it's confusing to remember what button does what.
Performance buddy, so basically PT/doctor maybe, but obviously they probably can't say those words.
Funnily enough, I didn't realize you could get shorts that you could slip your iPhone down the side. That's clever. But that's not even an Apple product.
I wonder if I've accidentally run an ad then because I'm messing about with my Stream Deck and I was like, what's this button press? And I was like, I have no idea because I've not written on it. And then I've looked in the things. It's like Add a banner. So I'll have to check that out later. But I don't think I've linked it to anything, so I have no idea what the ad would be, unless it's once it's payable.
So this is cool, but a lot of the time I hate the interruptions because when it's like, hey, you got a new message, and I'm like, shut up, I'm just trying to run.
Yeah. It's as if you need like two separate styles of like a consultant at the end of the week or like a ongoing nudging you vibe.
I would even if they just said like 7-minute mile, like super short interjections rather than like, hey, you've just done a 7-minute mile. That's great work when you're still, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a real short, punchy.
And that's the thing is sometimes you want it whilst you're running, but not whilst you're walking. I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, there must be more customization things.
That's cool. So custom options and also compete against yourself.
Smart stack as a main feature. Interesting.
I wonder if with the fitness stuff, they'll still allow you to play Spotify and also get recommendations. Or will it only do it if you use Apple, like podcasts or music?
Probably the suggestion element is just Apple. I would suggest it could probably play Spotify, but it would probably be a little bit awkward. I'd assume.
Yeah.
Surely that uses up a lot of power. Wrist flick.
Okay, the wrist flick to like that's helpful because I sometimes when something's buzzing, you don't want to have to tap it to turn it off. So that is helpful.
It elevates it, but sometimes it makes it harder to read.
This is why I'm like, it's not really usable. Some like this like glossy background thing. It's almost too intense.
Is there no notes on the watch currently?
I didn't even notice, but that makes sense. One thing I find is sending messages, it won't let you do an audio message. You can only transcribe it. But like,
yeah.
I want to just
think that's a
audio
shame.
record on my phone and send it. It'd be better.
I do find it funny how it's like they're literally drip feeding of like, oh, another update. You've unlocked notes this year. It's like you definitely could have done that way early. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, Workout Buddy is a cool idea, but it's probably too like elongated to bother with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, disappointing. Stock price has gone up a bit, but still on the down. So
on Apple
I've
TV.
cancelled my Apple TV Plus because there's just nothing of interest as such. But funnily enough, I saw that the guy from The Office and his wife is in a TV show, isn't it? Or is that somebody else there? Oh,
Is
it's
it the
somebody
one
else.
that they're showing now? No.
I think he is in the TV show with his wife, isn't he? But it's not obviously not this lady.
I don't know who his wife is. So.
It's the lady. It's the British lady from Devil's Wear Prada. If you remember that film.
I remember
Emily Blunt.
Not off the top of my head.
Unless I thought it was his wife when I saw the ad, and then I was like, oh wait, it's not actually the wife.
Unintrusive design. Yeah, that's a bit handy. I like that look. I wonder how many designers and when do they start this process? I'd be fascinated in that sort of process. Let's just market Apple TV right now.
That Foundation 3 looks kind of cool. Anything Denzel when is in is usually good. And this morning's pretty good. I like that.
It's quite impressive how they're like pumping out these sort of very cinematic sort of films straight off the bat.
Oof. Every week.
Pretty sure they had profiles before. But is it just when you wake it up? Okay. Wow. Karaoke style. That's funny.
Oh, that's clever. Using your iPhone as the microphone. It's clever.
Hopefully you could change your voice on it because that'll be funny as well. In a weird way, I feel like Apple TV is probably the best update at the moment. Care about Mac. This is the one that I actually care about probably the most.
Yeah, so I think the karaoke one actually is an interesting idea. Clever. Again, increases usage.
Yeah, it makes me want to get Apple Music just to see what the karaoke thing's like. Go, Greg.
Getting overtaken by a bike. I think, if anything, the Apple updates are more interesting because of the editing of the actual update rather than the actual content of the update from a feature perspective.
Yeah, that's how it's
Because
been
like that
going.
Formula One thing was pretty cool. Like that's the highlight of this whole thing, let alone the features. It's
Yeah.
about like, nothing comes close. It's called Forest.
Tahoe. I wonder how they like build a picture
Brook.
of just the name of it.
Yeah.
Just like
Tahoe. I think what's challenging when you name things like this, somebody else call it Tahoe, not Tahoe, because it's the American pronunciation kind of thing.
pushing gaming shortcuts and something. Let's push the design again.
The only thing here that's of interest is maybe the middle purple icon.
Is that the next one up?
That was the one in the middle from design, yeah. So after this, whatever that purpley icon, pinky purpley one was. I bet you know how it's like you turn off certain things to make the battery like drain less. And I bet people are going to start turning off this glass mode because I think chances are the performance of the glass mode is actually takes a lot to show the background as some like blur, whereas before we weren't doing that dynamically.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
And they'll just turn it to opacities.
Colors of folders? What? I feel like Mac have become Mac. No, Apple have become Apple in such a way, and I feel like since the last 5+ years, I feel like they're slowly undoing their Mac way by giving like people freedom for color and
They're becoming Android basically, which is a shame. And I feel like Google's innovating more through just like
because before they're like, this is the way to do it, and we're going to ignore you because we're the clever designers. Now it's like, oh, we want to make everyone happy, so let's make everything that you could edit at any point. And it's like, I'm not sure if that's such a cool idea.
Yeah. Okay, continuity, that's what they're saying. So this could be interesting.
Oh, live activity in the menu bar. That's clever.
That's helpful. Integrated notifications. Live notifications, sorry.
The phone app to Mac.
So that already existed. Phone. Oh yeah, because do they usually force you to basically make a call on your phone or make a call through FaceTime? So now if they have the phone app here,
basically. So it should be a better integration because I think phone calls are pretty whack through the Mac at the moment. Shortcuts that I don't use that I feel like I probably should. So let's see if they could sell it to me this time around.
In coming up to the end of this, what we should do is summarize what like the one feature or a couple of features you actually liked. Oh, that was a good edit. See that edit where they broke down that layering? That was cool.
Yeah. We have a first commenter other than me. Have you seen it in the chat?
No, is it some...
There's a quotations of "Hey everyone," and it's "No one here, broken heart," and I'm like, well, you're sort of here, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
JK, I bet you jump on a lot of other streams for this. Top bants.
What I find is funny is like you can't actually see who these individuals are, right? You can't see their own profiles within YouTube because it would be more interesting to see who that is.
What, the JK, the commenter? Yeah, you can go to theirs and they have 0 videos.
Yeah.
And 0 subscribers. So there we go.
Oh, maybe you can see it different because all I can do is report or block them. I can't actually see who they are.
Oh, okay. Probably. I can show it on stream. There you go. Can you see that? Can you see that on our stream?
Oh, yeah. To be fair, I'm more interested in the fact that Riverside FM have done their updates. And there's actually a live integrated chat, which is far better. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a lot of updates recently. I'm quite impressed.
So this is clever, building it into their I don't know what they call this, like search bar thing, right? Search, because
Spotlight.
there was an app that I used to use called Jarvis or some posh dude's name that had similar functionality to this. Because I think Spotlight is also pants. It's not very good.
I use it a lot, but only to get to something. But I think it can be loads better. If I'm honest.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Because I think the Spotlight is pretty much should just take over Siri, if I'm honest. Because that's probably what you use it for most of the time anyway. Which I guess this is what it's pushing for.
I mean, who the heck uses Pages as well, right? Was that Pages app that they just showed them? That's the kind of app that you want to install to make more room for other stuff. Okay, remove background. All right, that is the winning feature. Dynamically removing background from your
Pages
for your thing. Like finally some actual innovation.
But it is in Pages, remember?
Yeah.
Everyone uses
Well, actually, it looked like it wasn't because you could trigger it from the Spotlight stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which is whatever they're calling as like their Siri vibe. Because background remove, you try and do it online and it's not very good, or they try and charge you for it, which is just stupid.
Yeah. I like how they're like, and this is what I use it for. And it's like, I guarantee you this guy doesn't use Pages.
Yeah.
He probably uses Google Docs or something.
Exactly. This is very strange. They've hijacked Apple Intelligence with Spotlight. So you're using Spotlight to basically do trigger shortcuts that then use Apple Intelligence. Why didn't they just have it all as one system?
That then triggers ChatGPT.
Yeah, they should have had an entire system that is called Siri, where Siri has tasks or workflows and integrations, and you can ask it stuff and it responds back with a ChatGPT like model, rather than this weird like Spotlight stuff that triggers triggers the intelligence stuff.
We'll see.
No, they're not, because we're not going to use it.
gaming. Let's see how much they push this.
Let's look at the stock price. So still negative, less so. Minus 0.8.
Game overlay.
Because see here how borders of all the side widgets are so strong. And I'm like, I think over time that will kind of get a little bit frustrating. The fact that everything is glossy and everything is standing out when it's just a necessary visual noise, really. It makes sense if you got a few items and they're hovering, but for like intensity lists like that, it's no point. That does look really nice, these graphics. It's almost like a Sims game. What did they call it? Enzo or something? Enzo?
Yeah, it just looked like Sims to me. A rip
Yeah.
off.
Enzoy. Also super disappointing.
Icon tinting. Wow.
I wonder what they've done with Journal.
Probably just made it glossy.
Yeah. You can now draw cat pictures and remove the backgrounds.
To fill out your dreams.
I'd like to try one of these. I've still not tried it yet. In the Apple Store, you can book a demo. I should book a demo to like, try it out.
I feel like it's like low key, just like brain. Like these are the droids you're looking for. Type of like Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence.
Yeah. Spatial content, spatial experiences, spatial accessories. It's just like the buzzword, you know, like a bingo card. Well, we've heard Apple Intelligence loads and we've heard spatial loads.
Drinking game.
Yeah. Yeah, drink anytime you hear the word spatial.
Do you use Stream Deck, the Elgato app, at all?
No, but I saw your vlog about the fact that you were doing the
because I think you'd enjoy it, you know. I think you would find it fascinating because I've basically got a page of shortcuts for Toggle, Slack, and then opening and closing Canva, Figma, and CapCut, and then folders for each of those items to then go into like shortcuts like zooming in or select or things that just speed things up just that little bit more.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you saw. Are you seeing this stuff on the Vision OS? The fact that you can basically make a virtual reality clock in your room. Like, okay.
I guess they can't really push the glossiness because it already had a glossiness as well.
Look, he's put a virtual reality photo on his wall that's like blends in with his wall. Can you see that? Like, it's funny.
Because you can't afford picture frames because you spent $2,000 on this.
Yeah, we'll
you
now
can have
create
as many
fake
photos on the wall as you
things.
want. Half of me's like, why don't you have an advert of a guy wearing it in a tent and he's in a mansion? Because that would be more funnier. Because like you can buy a mansion for $2,000 and then he just puts his headset on. So whilst you died off the stream, one of the things were you can create any image you have into a spatial image, so like a 3D image, which I thought that was quite clever to push this sort of 3D imaging element.
Oh, for the backgrounds of your phones when you'd like rotate it and stuff.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure there's apps out there that do that, so they're probably dying in the water now.
Yeah.
Personas. Oh wow, that's a massive update. Are you at the personas bit yet?
Yes. Oh, far clearer.
That is so much better. I wonder what they've done just to improve that massively. Instead of buying a projector 50 quid, you can have both of these things for £4 and watch a film together. Oh. I think for a business and like the engineering side, I think that side's fascinating, but just watching a TV program or a game at home,
It's just not good. Yeah, absolutely agree. Like enterprise creation or medical.
I don't know why they don't just bring out, like, link up with Samsung and create an Apple TV that's integrated in a TV, and then those average, like, Joe people that don't want to spend £4, you'd be just like, let me just get a TV for a wall, which would make more sense. Oh, we've hit the max streams at the moment. We're at solid 3.
I think
Or we
I've
can
got
hand
it
one
open.
of them to the side just so I can see the chat.
Yeah, I think I was watching it to see if the audio was correct. Oh yeah, I've still got it open. It is genuinely me as well. I'll close it.
So
Go down.
Spatial accessories. Come on, let's see what this is like. Yeah.
Oh, why didn't they have Apple Pens? They so should have done this with an Apple Pen.
That would have made sense, but oh, pushing the pickleball.
That's so interesting that they like can't be bothered to build their own hardware. So like, cool, we'll build a £3 headset, but then you can use your PlayStation controllers or whatever. But that you've got a PlayStation headset, haven't you, or PlayStation VR, right?
Yeah.
So, like, why would you also buy an Apple thing to play games on it? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
people are saying that the whole Vision OS is still so boxed in that it's not really that inventive. Like, who'd have thought that you put this headset on and you're still working with screens? So we need to go beyond that and have something more fluid and less framed.
Yeah.
But like, it's kind of more challenging to do that because we're so used to screens, and I don't think we can necessarily think outside of that framework almost.
Are you on the website bit now?
Yeah.
That's clever. If it literally pulls it off any website, I didn't quite hear if you said what specific website, but if you literally pick something off a website and put it in your room, I'm like, that is clever.
I think so. Probably so long as it's done as a like an object file or something, isn't it?
Probably.
That's dope. A Jupyter environment.
Safari spatial browsing. I wonder what that stands for. Hand tracking 90 hertz. I don't even know what that even means. Is it just it can track your hands that are quicker movements?
Yeah, the number of changes that it will track is like a higher intervals. they should have integrated the Apple Pen, so the Apple Pen can now be used with Mac for Vision OS. Like they missed a trick there. Or do like Apple Pen 5. Sorry, Apple Pen 26.
Yeah. So apparently, I'll say a rumor, see if it lands. They might push the iPad to be more like the laptop, but not obviously too much to cannibalize it. But apparently that's rumors. But let's see how that goes or not. It's like if you dock it, then it becomes a thingy, but we'll see. I'm surprised they left the iPad to last, if I'm honest. But
what's the word if they did introduce Apple Pen 26 and they'd say it works with Vision OS? What would that be? What would that be called? Is it integrated with Vision OS or compatible with? Is it compatible? Right.
Compatible, probably, yeah.
What would Apple? What would Apple say?
Compatible, probably.
Yeah.
Is this your funny tweet going out?
Yeah.
We could put it on the screen if you want.
I'm just tweeting. So I've already tweeted 3 times in the next minute. Drink when you hear intelligence or spatial. AI summary, disappointing. Presenting Apple Pencil 26 compatible with Vision OS.
You got to watch out what you say. So in 10 years' time, when Apple employ you, they're like, "We're just going to look at your tweets."
These are good ideas. So what operating system are we on now? Oh, we're on iPads. Okay.
iPads.
We've finally got round to multitasking. Weren't we trying to do this years ago?
They're proper trying to push this multitasking on iPad.
You're absolutely right.
Failed.
They really want you to be buying iPads more than laptops, I think, for like your day-to-day consumer.
So I think there's what, HomePods left, maybe if they involve that, but I think everything's done. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. Would I use that? I'm not sure.
It seems a bit like sharpish when you open up multiple things.
So this is it. You've got a pointer when you... So basically when you put it on a dock, it becomes a MacBook. Which everyone's been dying for that to happen because that's how people would want to use it.
Okay, so I've opened up Twitter on the side of this. I should have this open the whole time. So introducing liquid glass, and then it's a photo of Vista, the Vista, Microsoft Vista. Do you remember Vista? It was like glossy, wasn't it? That's funny.
That was the last one I was on before, Mike. We should just live stream the Twitter thing, and that'll probably be funny in and of itself.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have had Twitter open.
Twitter, the stocks, and would have been away with it, live streaming it.
The stock market, the stock is still down 1%. Still not good.
So that's cool that hopefully the iPad will now, well, I guess it depends which one. Hopefully it'll be the M1 chip that I've got. It'll basically become a MacBook, which is cool. Which I think I would use it more if it was a mini MacBook, I must admit. So that's positive, but still, that's minor. Wow. you reckon when Greg goes offline, he's like depressed, really, or whatever? He's like, why are we not bringing any innovation, guys?
It's that like social video. Someone's like, "Hey, look at this food," and over here, and then as soon as he's turned off the camera, he's like, "Oh, this is so boring."
Other updates. Home. Files. Woo.
Okay, I'm probably like 20 seconds behind you.
You on files yet?
Yeah, files has always been whack as well, like really challenging because it's like iCloud files, so like it's downloading or saving or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's literally bringing Mac OS to iPad OS vibes, isn't it? With the whole
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Finally, folders in a dock. And it's clever because if they're pushing files, then they can push the subscription of more people have got their things online.
Like this will mean that there's like higher iCloud usage.
Yeah. Finally, I've heard about this as well. Basically, so you could sign documents, which basically means you don't have to pay for what is it, PDF converter or whatever. You can just do it on an iPad, which they should have done that ages ago. I do find it interesting how they're like, oh, this much awaited thing, or because you've wanted this, but really it's like 4 or 5 years behind what people actually want.
This is why it's so it's marketing heavy, isn't it? Really, we've been
Yeah.
saying this for time and time again, but yeah. You know what? It's funny. Somebody said in a tweet, "Well, thank you, Apple. I don't know how to recreate liquid glass on Figma." Like confused face. I'm like, if the first person to come up with some way of doing liquid glass would be interesting, which is funny because we already have. You copy from the iOS library, right? Because they've created a Vision OS. So
one thing I'd love is to have more control over, let's say you got your headphones in your MacBook or iPad, that you can listen to YouTube podcast in one and music in the other. Just small things like that without faffing about in settings and stuff.
absolutely. Because the Samsung TV has an ability to do two screens at the same time in like a 70/30, and you can change the volumes of them. But the trouble is it kind of glitches because I want to play PlayStation and also watch YouTube, but it only lets you do YouTube and your PlayStation or YouTube and the Samsung TV platform.
Oh, okay. Oh, download locally. That's clever. They've made your, I don't know if you heard that, or I don't know if you've watched that, the clicker of your headphones, a clicker to be like, start playing, click.
Right.
That's interesting because they basically said if you want to create a podcast, I'm there going, you can create multilingual podcasts then if you've got the translate on FaceTime recording locally.
Yeah.
But they've not even mentioned that, which is really interesting.
Probably because you can't do it.
Probably. Too much.
Although which logos came up? Because I think the Teams icon came up or whatever. So maybe they do have an integration with FaceTime that you can record.
Zoom, I think. I wonder if they've got a big push for Final Cut Pro at all updates in the background.
Yeah, because we've not got Well, they did their Mac OS one, didn't they? But sometimes they do their like, what's the Mac thing that's like the hardcore version? That's like the tower with the
Oh
cheese
yeah, the
grater on the
Mac
side.
Pro or whatever.
Yeah, like their Mac Pro or whatever they're called.
What it feels like is like it feels like you're like, Apple, please do this, please love me, and they're like, no, 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 and then like 5 years later, they're like, so you know that love, love that you wanted 5 years ago, here it is in small dosage. And you're
Yeah,
like, finally, there's notes on my watch.
exactly. And we're like, and they're still going to get money out of us, right? Ugh.
Biggest iPod, right? Ah, interesting. No HomePod or headphones. I guess it's not an operating system, but I thought they would have slipped something into it. Meh.
Hmm. I think the workout buddy isn't as cool either because that's just purely encouragement and stats, right?
Yeah.
I think still there's still room for a fitness trainer to be like, cool, you've trimmed here, but you've not trimmed here, or like if you want to change, or like you're working out like it's not this way, it's this way, you know, giving like directions on how to actually do correct movements.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Liquid glass.
I think this is the challenge when somebody's going to create a custom brand. Like now, I want to have all my apps purple. Well, I as a developer have to create it using their thing, not create custom apps. I need to create a dynamic thing, so there'll be like 7 different versions or a particular way of doing it. So it's like I think that'll be quite challenging because you don't
Mm.
want to be the one app that doesn't convert. You know. Cool. So this is similar to what Google have done. They've integrated Gemini into their Android Studio. So it makes sense that
Okay.
they've now just built in ChatGPT into Xcode. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, there we go. Incredibly disappointing. I think my
Yeah.
favorite feature probably is the TV karaoke.
Yeah, I think the TV was underrated out of all of them.
Mm.
I feel like Vision OS should have been the last one pushed because it's like the future, but clearly they're not sold on it. Clearly they're like, I do think the iPad is probably the biggest update.
Mm. They're trying to become more laptopy, aren't they? You know.
Public. July next month. Oh, users for, so that'll be us then.
So July, you'll be able to do a beta to try it in July. Yeah. Is it also going to be shot on an iPhone? Shot on an iPhone, edited on an iMac. Oh, this is interesting.
Imagine if our apps are on there. You've been slagging it off this
Yeah.
Kimmer should do this for all her reviews on different stuff.
Do you recognize this musician at all?
No.
Same. This is funny. I like it. Where did the band appear from?
I think someone on the internet should recreate this for all the troll comments, because obviously these are all the positive ones. Like an artist should definitely go out there and create like alternate universe version of this.
There is that like American show, don't they do it on the Jimmy Fallon show where they get celebrities to read out hate comments and get their celebrity to respond.
But if you can mimic it in this exact look and everything, that would be funny.
City man saved my marriage.
So now they're trying to push 5 stars at a poor event. Oh, 6 stars.
I bet they've released this song on Apple Music, and if they haven't, they've missed a trick.
And Vision Pro that you can feel like you're sat on the piano.
Yeah.
I still am shocked that it's shot on iPhone, edited on Mac. What it should be is edited on Final Cut Pro on Mac. That should be the next push, like that they're pushing the Final Cut Pro element, but they're not.
Yeah.
So that is the Apple event.
Okay, so give me your rundown. Give me your review.
A quick. I've forgotten most things. So I would probably use the iPad update, making it more like a desktop, because I've always found that once I put it with a keyboard, that it sort of falls down, because really it's like acting as an iPad still, which I don't like. So I think that is. But again, I wish that came like 3-4 years ago. But I think that is the only thing I'll probably use and find very useful.
I think the one thing I'll actually use is the background removal if it's separate from Pages. But if it's not separate from Pages, I ain't using it, girl. Like, it ain't happening, boy. So, yeah, it's incredibly disappointing. And I generally think it's disappointing that they've shifted their visual approach to like now we have dark modes in apps and now we have color modes. I just think that's a bunch of faff. And one, from an accessibility perspective, like now everything's going to be obviously you set it yourself, right? But everything's blanket same color. You don't know what to pick, right?
Yeah,
So
you might as well sort of not design it to some extent.
yeah, and I thought the car, even though the car app today now isn't great functionality wise, I think visually it's pretty good. There are some enhancements that you could make to it, but that's per app rather than the actual interface. But looking at